Zach Reynolds alongside Luke Hamilton and Oilers head coach Rob Murray for this week's virtual coaches show. And right off the bat, Murray, congratulations from last week. You coached in your 900th professional game. Obviously a milestone that's very difficult to reach. And with that, are there any memories that pop out of your head over your career that are really special to you as a coach?
Well, first of all, I had no idea I was at 900 games. So, and I don't know. I really don't care, but it is nice. It shows longevity, obviously, and I mean, same with my playing career. I mean, it's the ability to stay in the game and do what I love. Obviously, the biggest moment in my coaching career, or a couple of them, obviously, are being hired as a head coach in Providence. When I did, I was assistant coach there for 5 years, and there was no guarantee that I was going to get the job. It was a lengthy interview process at the time, and I came out on top. So that was a big step in my career. And then winning the Kelly Cup in Alaska was huge. I'd never won a championship at any level, and unfortunately, as a player, I never had the chance. And then as a coach, it just, you don't know what it's like until you actually do it. And I can say now that I've done it. I've won a championship, and that was it was extraordinary feeling. You can't explain it. I mean, and until you do it, you don't know. So then probably throughout my career, I mean, there's been great games, great situations that we've looking back even a couple of years ago, winning Game 7 against Kansas City here at home, and getting to the conference finals. So a couple of coaching the All-Star game at the American League level and at the ECHL level. So there's a lot of good things that have happened throughout my career, but hopefully the best is yet to come.
And we look to somebody else with a accomplishment last night, and a player you had last season, in Dakota Joshua, playing his first NHL game and scored his first NHL goal. Kind of a two-pronged question for you here, and with that is, what's it like seeing a player that you've had move up the levels and develop and reach their dream? And also, we've talked about your first pro goal, but what was your first NHL goal like?
Kind of like Joshua's. I mean, his went basically off his chest in the net. Mine went off my foot into the net. So similar situation, just driving the net, and the puck hit you in the right way, and it went in the net. So great for Joshua. I got a text from Kevin McDonald, who's the assistant GM in St. Louis, last night prior to their game, and said that Dakota was in the lineup. So he kind of gave me a shout out and said, good job developing him. But we only had him for 20 games, so I can't really hang my hat on it too much. But I mean, it's all a process, right? It starts somewhere. I mean, Pagansky, now Joshua, and then the only other guy that I think throughout my career at the ECHL level is Alex Belzile, who played last year for Montreal. I'm sure he's I haven't checked up on him, but he finished the year there last year in Montreal. So there's with that, you don't get too many guys. I mean, end of the day, there's not too many guys that play at this level and then eventually climb the ladder to play in the NHL. But there is hope. It's not undoable, and these guys are proof that it can be done. Now, I think things have changed a little bit as far as the way that ECHL teams are used as affiliates and development. So you'll see more and more as we move along. This year, not so much. Obviously, it's just bad year and with COVID and all. But you're going to see it more and more throughout the coming years, where you're going to have guys that might even play a whole season at the ECHL level, and maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, you're going to see them in the NHL. So I think that's going to get more commonplace than maybe what we've seen in the history of the ECHL.
And, looking at another milestone, it just, they're popping out of nowhere seemingly all at once. And, your captain, Adam Pleskach, 500 career games as of last Friday. Just what's it been like having him in that locker room? He's such a, blue collar, hardworking player and has been his whole career. And, if you asked Adam, he'd just shrug his shoulders, I'm sure, but it's a huge accomplishment, as you know. And what's it like, sort of getting a large lens perspective on a guy like Adam Pleskach?
Well, I didn't know Adam when I first arrived here in town. And, he's a guy that's impressed me with his leadership, his commitment to the game. I think that's something that you can see in him that maybe you don't see in other players. Like there's that drive that he has. I mean, 500 games, he's only 600 plus behind me yet. It's a long way to go to get to 500. I mean, it's a great accomplishment for him. And, I love him. And it's why I made him captain as soon as I got here. Or not as soon as I got here, but once I got to know him, I knew right away that that's my guy. And he's been a great conduit for me throughout the years between the players and myself. I've never asked him to rat guys out or anything like that, but, he'll come to me on occasion and kind of just fill me in on the temperature of the team. And that's what you need from your leaders. And he does a great job of that. Great kid in the community too. That's it. That's another thing. Like, he lives here year round and he's very visible in the community and he's a guy that's the type of guy that you want the face of your franchise to look like. And the work ethic, the just his what he lacks, as we all know. Like, you look at Adam, I mean, he's not a very great skater, but he gets it done. He scores goals, yet he's not overly skilled. Like, he's just a player that has found a way to make a niche, and it all stems from hard work. And that's the kind of stuff that I need, need a player, a captain, to rub off on the rest of the team.
Shifting from last week's milestones to this week, longest break of the season, almost kind of a makeshift all-star break with, not playing until March 10th. What is it that is going on with you guys this week, whether it be, practice, days off, and what's kind of the game plan up until March 10th?
Well, unfortunately, with our protocols and everything that goes with it, if I had an opportunity in a normal year, I would have probably given the guys 3 or 4 days off right off the hop. Like, just get out of town, like, go somewhere, I don't care, go to Florida, go to Mexico, like, just kind of get away from the game and reset and recharge your batteries type thing. We don't have that opportunity. So we are going to practice. We practice today here at the OIC. We're here up until we play against Wichita next week. And it's the first time all year. We haven't been here. We've been down, we've had the luxury of being at the BOK all season. So it's the first taste of the OIC for a lot of these guys. Practice was good today. We're going to more out of just our practice scheduling. We'll have Friday and Sunday off this week, only because we couldn't secure ice time here at the OIC. So those are 2 kind of built-in days off. We'd like to do some kind of team function. We're trying to figure out something that it's compliant with our protocols. Definitely sometime this week we'll figure something out, but it's a lot of time to work on things and try to get better in areas that we have deficiencies in, and hopefully we come out of this 10 days a better team than we entered.
And you look at, like, such a long week, players, of course, whenever they're in mid-season form, mid-season mode mentally, it can be sometimes tough to kind of take that amount of time off. You're wanting to get after it every week, every day. and sort of how, do you approach it as a coach, or sort of trying to mix it up every day, make sure that, you're covering the things that you need to cover to make this team, a better team, like you mentioned, than they are the day before. But also kind of give these guys, a little bit of a break from the same old each and every day.
Well, I mean, it's up to me and Zack to, practice plan around that kind of thought process. We had a talk this morning and Zack and I, and like, we need to build in a little bit more fun, and yeah, you know what? It's work. We got to come to work. We got to get it, we got to do what we have to do. We have to go through our basically what we need to get done. Yet within these 10 days, we still got to build in some fun. So, like for example, maybe Saturday we might have an inter squad scrimmage or just a 3-on-3 game or something like that, and put something on the line, I don't know, dinner or something, like just make it worth something. Just try to find a way to enjoy the game and be at the rink. And in saying that, I don't think the guys don't enjoy being at the rink at this point, but with the time off, which it baffles me how in the world the scheduling was set up this way, because right after this 10 days we're in one. I mean, we're playing almost every second night, and to have 10 days off is remarkable at this point. But regardless of that, it for me as a coach, I'm sure as the players, coming off of Sunday's game, you really want to jump right back into it. You wish you had a game tonight, and to get back at it, and but we don't, and so we'll deal with what we got. I don't think it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just we just got to do what we have to do to get through these 10 days.
After Sunday's game and in the post-game interview you did with the media, you'd mentioned that, the potential to see some personnel changes. The wheels kind of already turning on that. What's your mindset going in with that? What are you looking to bring in? And, how are you going to go about that?
Well, I mean, there's other teams in the league that are at this point are trying to move players. I mean, it's got to be the right fit. And, unfortunately, whenever you pick up the phone, they're always asking for too much, so, I'm not going to sell everybody out just to make a change. But if there's something that's I feel could improve our team, I'll definitely entertain any offers. Nothing yet has materialized, but we'll see going forward, because I think we've become a little bit of a not a complacent team yet. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Like, we got to find a way to get ourselves on a streak and win 4 out of 5 and be that team. So it's not getting done with the personnel that we have right now, and it's not from a lack of trying yet. Maybe it's my job as head coach, director of player operations to, if I got an opportunity to improve us, I'll definitely do that. We did that this morning, I believe, with releasing Kyle Jenkins and bringing in Garrett Cecere. That's a little change, but I think it's an upgrade, and it'll be something that I think that I'll be looking to do as we move along.
And speaking of Cecere coming in here, he had his brother in Alaska, and he's a little bit smaller, of course, than his brother. And you talk a little bit about trying to bring some scoring on the back end. Is that a guy that you feel like can bring that? What's sort of the decision in looking at a player like Cecere to want to have him fit in with these deep pairs?
Well, if you look at his resume, and it doesn't jump off the page at you as far as the offensive output, but he's got that ability. That's the thing. Like, I mean, it just needs to be brought out of him. He skates very well. Even this morning in practice, I mean, he moves the puck. It's on and off his tape, and he's in very good shape as of right now. And the lengthy break's going to only help him to get ready for when we start playing again. His parents actually are part owners of the Des Moines team in the USHL. So he's been out on the ice quite a bit with those guys. And so he's not pro ready per se. I could see he was a little fatigued today, yet he's closer than maybe what we've seen in a couple other guys that have kind of just come off a couch and jumped into the lineup. So that gives me hope that, again, by the time we get going again, he's going to be ready to go and shouldn't miss a beat.
With Sunday's game, saw that no Danny Moynihan available. Obviously, he had a huge impact on Friday's game with the hat trick. Is there kind of a timetable with his return to the lineup?
Well, Danny skated today. He's fine. He just was too sore from the knee that he took on Saturday night. And so he wasn't all right. I mean, he's still laboring a little bit, but he did skated full today, and he'll be definitely ready to go. The other two guys, Austin McEnany was not at the building. He's still hurting right now. Garrett Cockrell was in getting treatment. He's going to skate tomorrow. And so these guys, two other guys that we missed on Sunday, Danny obviously is a big part of that, but we're also short McEnany and Cockrell, and really between after about halfway through the second period on Saturday night, we were short. Like, they were out of the lineup. So they sustained, the three of them sustained injuries all in one game, and it just happens. That's the way it goes. You go all year without hardly a bump and bruise, and all of a sudden you get three guys in one game. So kind of like Llewellyn and Gates in the second game in Wheeling. So it comes at you, and it comes at you hard sometimes. But we had extra guys, and we were able to dress a full lineup on Sunday afternoon. Maybe, not our best lineup, but that's what you deal with, and you just keep going.
And speaking of that lineup, on Sunday, a guy like Vincent Marlowe, he gets that first pro goal over the weekend, and you sort of hit home with the idea of earning your ice time, and he's certainly done that. And what did you think about elevating him to that top line responsibility, up the middle? And do you think that's something that Marlowe can be ready for, and has been preparing himself for, and getting those expected minutes?
Well, I think Vincent's got the ability to do that. Maybe it was a little premature to put him there on Sunday, yet I didn't have much of an option. And I think he was our best option, and I thought he played well. Honestly, I thought we played overall. We played a good game on Sunday. Like, we worked hard, and the first goal hurt coming out of the gate, but you can survive that. The second one, it's just a bad bounce. I mean, we literally kicked the puck almost in our own net, and kind of, it was a little bit deflating. And we're playing well, and then 2-0, and then their third goal, it was a situation where we had dominated the whole game, or the whole period, really, and then they get one chance and they score. So it wasn't, when we were down 5-0, that to me was not a 5-0 game. It was just unfortunate that we were. But the guys, what I liked, was the effort in the third period. We showed no quit, and we did a hell of a job killing off the 5-on-3. Full 2 minutes of a 5-on-3 where, they hit one post, but I don't know that they had a really good look at the net other than that. And then, we kind of really got hold of the game at that point. It was too late, but we really, the guys never quit. And that's what I really liked about the way that we played on Sunday. Coming out of the game on Saturday last week against Wichita, the 2-1 loss, I lost sleep. I was in a rotten mood on Sunday. It wasn't again, it wasn't a deal where I didn't think we worked hard enough. I just thought we were the better team that night and we shouldn't have lost. Were we the better team on Sunday afternoon? I don't know, but I liked our effort, and for that, it was more of a, I wasn't as uptight and concerned about it, and it you know, I moved on. You know what I mean? Like, we had a day off yesterday, I was fine. Just mentally, it wears on players. Mentally, it wears on your on the coaching staff. So you got to move on and you know, go to work and get better.
Kind of piggybacking off that, where, you know, you said the team didn't quit, and then that third period looking strong. When Jenkins got that second goal, when they were 23 seconds apart, what was kind of the attitude and the mood on the bench? I mean, it seemed that things kind of really lifted after that goal. You know, obviously we weren't able to come back on the scoreboard, but I mean, those last 10 minutes, very strong.
Well, yeah, and I think the attitude really was that we could actually, you know, I think there was a belief that we could come back. And, you know, the disallowed goal by Pleskach, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I watched it a couple times. I don't even know that Charlie really even brushed the goalie. I mean, I think it was the right call, yet if you really, really looked at it, it might not have been the right call. But, you know, that's the rule. I mean, you know, the way that it's written is that a goaltender has to have the opportunity to make a save on a shot. And, you know, Ginn really didn't have that opportunity to get back into the net. So it's kind of a no-brainer. That was the right call. I just, you know, again, I question how much contact there really was. So we score there. If that goal stood, I mean, we're really rolling. And I think that we weren't able to we weren't able to get another one at that point, and then time just ran out. But it really had this. There was a mentality on the bench, definitely, that after Jenkins scored, it was kind of like, hey, we could maybe do this, and you know, what a story that would be, you know. And it's not commonplace, yet it happens, you know. And so why couldn't it happen for us? So I think that was our attitude, and that was what I could get to from the guys' chatter on the bench. And but you know, it came out short, but love the effort.
Yeah, and something we talked about a little bit before, you know, the overall weekend with the 3-3, was you wanted your guys to get into the dirty areas and get that second opportunity, you know, offensively, to maybe create some more, you know, depth scoring. Scoring in general, you know, you think about how many goals come off of a second chance, you know, how it can make an impact in a game. And did you feel like over the weekend, all the way through Sunday, you know, your team was finding a way to get in, you know, to the right areas to be able to create second chances? I know Ginn was making quite a few, you know, secondary saves where he had himself a good night on Sunday to really sort of shut down the offense at the end of the night.
We were getting to the dirty areas. I guess the next step is the determination to find that puck and find the back of the net. Like, we were there, and pucks were just out of reach. We couldn't get a good stick on it. Whatever it was, there's got to be more of a dog on the bone mentality. Like, you know, you're not going to be denied. So yes, we did a much better job in all three games getting to the net and getting to the paint. Yet now it's kind of got to, you know, the next step's got to be taken. We got to find a way to be determined and not be denied those second opportunities. And I think pucks were laying there. Perhaps we were, you know, there was times when we didn't have depth to our forecheck, where we had, you know, off the rebound, there was a guy. There's multiple times in the second period where we actually had a guy behind their goalie. Like, and I mean, Ginn plays aggressive, yet there's rebounds there and we're standing behind the goalie. You know what I mean? Like, it's positional play that gives yourself the best opportunity to find that rebound and find that loose puck and knock it in. But again, it's something, it's coming. Maybe that was the first step that I was asking for, is to be get to the dirty areas, get your nose dirty, get there, get to the net. And now we got to, continue to practice and continue that mentality throughout our practice time here and find a way more to, again, just dig in and find that puck and not be denied.
Mentioned, schedule gets very heavy upcoming after this off weekend, and starting with that, play Wichita 4 games in 5 days, and Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And with a series like that, we've seen the team play 4 games in 5 days this year, but not with all those games being against an identical opponent. What's it like coaching, in a week like that where you're seeing the same team every single night, especially, when things kind of carry over game to game?
Well, we kind of saw it with the Kansas City series. I mean, to me, in my experience, it either goes one way or the other. You would almost think that the fuel would be getting lit more and more as the games go along. I think there's a redundancy sometimes with the players too. It's like, oh God, the same team again. Unless something happens, and Saturday night in Kansas City was a little bit more of a physical game. As I said, we lost 3 players due to it. And that kind of rolled into Sunday. So we'll see Wednesday. Obviously, time will tell. We'll see how this series against Wichita one way or the other. You almost get bored with the team that you're playing, or there's a hatred that gets kind of moving along through the week. And more times than not, that's how it is.
Yeah, just to kind of add to that, essentially, you look at a 4-game series, you're going to be doing the same thing for 3 weeks straight, which, is just kind of insane to think about. You've got 3 games on the road in Wichita, 1 coming back at home against them. You do just about the same thing against Allen the next week with a 2-2, and then all 4, on the road against Utah. So, I talked about a little bit in the beginning of the year how this league can really help develop players, just with the kind of the unique schedule that minor league hockey brings. And, when you can kind of look at each week as a playoff series, this year with the new playoff format, it's a 5-game series. There's no time to waste. Can you kind of emphasize that with your group every week, saying, hey, this is an opportunity for us to really stack up against this team. Who are we going to be by the end of this 4-game set? And, you also kind of manage those tempers. A guy like Mike McKee, he's been involved in quite a bit, after the whistle this year, of course. And, how do you kind of manage him, by game 4 after each week, upcoming in this month? It's got to be kind of more unique than anything, I'd say, this year.
Well, I think that we have to approach it that way, and it's got to be more playoff-like hockey. And when you talk about playoff-like hockey, it's where you can't afford to take an undisciplined. Like, every power play is so important, and you can't just be giving other teams free power plays. So you're looking at a 72-game season, and maybe at certain nights you punch that guy in the head after the whistle. Well, we don't have time for that anymore. I mean, it has to be what you would have done in the playoffs, and this is whenever you go into playoffs, that's something that is stressed very highly. That you got to be the guy that takes the punch. We got to be drawing the penalties. We can't be doing that kind of stuff, and with the opportunity to play these teams as much as we are too, conversely, it's a great opportunity to start jumping in the standings and move up the rankings here. I mean, you got those games against teams that are ahead of you, and if you can come out ahead in a 4-game series and get the better of the other team, you're only it's going to gain momentum. And now you got 2 against Allen and 4 against Utah, and I don't even know what happens after that. Yet we know we're not playing anybody outside of our division for the rest of the year. So every game is important in that sense, and for that reason, we have to approach it like playoff hockey, and we got to get that mentality because, again, you're looking at Sunday afternoon, 6 power plays for Kansas City and 2 for us. Well, that's not going to fly. And that's the defining reason why teams win or lose, not necessarily the whole reason, but in the playoffs, I mean, it's just those power plays are so coveted that you can't be given easy ones out.
Well, on our end, I think that's all we got for you. Unless there's anything that you want to add, thanks for this weekly edition of the Coaches Show.
No, I'm good, guys.
All righty. Well, we'll catch back up with you next week for the games.
All right, have a good week.
Yep, you too.
See ya.
See ya.